Good morning, students. Students, in the part A of this lecture, lecture number 15, we have discussed with you sp3 dehybridization. Now, in the part B of the lecture, this is a continuation of the previous lecture, we will discuss sp3 d2 type of a hybridization. sp3 d2 type of hybridization occurs when 1s and 3 p atomic orbital, px, py, pz, and 2 d atomic orbital, this is dxy and dyz, mixed together to form 6 sp3 d2 hybrid orbitals, which will orient themselves in a manner to adopt octahedral geometry. So, here the geometry will be octahedral. Molecule will orient itself in a manner so as to adopt octahedral geometry. So, it will adopt octahedral geometry. And bond angle over here will be 90 degree. Octahedral geometry with a bond angle of 90 degree. Am I clear? How? I'll try to explain to you by taking an example. As for example, sulfur hexafluoride. Sulfur atomic number is 16. What will be the configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p4. Am I clear? This is a ground state configuration. If I write down the configuration in excited state, it will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 2p6, 3s1, 3px1, 3py1, 3pz1, then 3dxy1, 3dyz1. Am I clear? This is to be remembered. Which 2d orbital will participate? dxy, yz. Students, in the books, you won't find the configuration written in this manner. I am specifying it again and again because this is a very, very important question. Now, when the overlapping occurs, this will be 1s2, then 2s2, then 2p6, then we have 3s1, 3px1, 3py1 and 3pz1. Then we have 3dx1. There will be 5 orbital of d. One, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is dx1 and this one. Now, here one half field s, 3p and 2d atomic orbital will mix together to form sp3 d2 type of hybrid orbitals. And how many will be in number? 6. So, this will be sp3 d2 hybridization. Am I clear? How many orbitals are formed? 6. sp3 d2 hybridization will take place. This sp3 d2 hybrid orbital will orient itself to adopt octahedral geometry. What will be the octahedral geometry? This will be something like this. This is octahedral geometry. One of the sp3d2 hybrid orbital will be this. Another will be this. They will be 6 in number. One will be this. Another will be this. This will be one. And this will be the another one. Am I getting clear? Since they are the hybrid orbital, they are to be represented with bigger lobe as well as with a smaller lobe. These are to be represented in this manner. Tell me whether I am getting it clear for you or not. Yes, this is octahedral geometry. Bond angle will be 90 degree. Now, when the formation of sulfur hexafluoride takes place, fluorine atomic number is 9. Configuration will be 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py2, 2pz1. And z orbital will be having a dumbbell shape. This pz orbital will orient itself in such a manner so as to they will overlap with a hybrid orbital and resulting in the formation of a required bond. How? Just see, student, over here. These are the octahedral geometry of this one. Yes, one of the octahedral geometry will be, these are the hybrid orbitals. Which are 6 sp3d2 hybrid orbitals. I think I shall be very clear over here. Yes, with the region of high electron density and the region of low electron density. Now this pz orbital will orient itself in such a manner so that it may go overlapping with 6 sp3 d2 hybrid orbitals, resulting in the formation of a bond that will be responsible for the formation of sulfur hexafluoride molecule. How? This pz orbital will be having a dumbbell shape. This is 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py2 and 2pz1. Fine. This pz orbital will orient itself in a manner to form a sigma bond, to form a bond. And that will be, of course, head-on overlapping. So normally these bonds are the sigma bond. So this will be sp3 d2 and pz bond. It's a head-on overlap. So naturally these are the sigma bonds. This has already been discussed with you. Similarly, one of the pz orbital will overlap with this one. One of the pz orbital will overlap in this manner. Resulting in the formation of sigma bond. One of the pz orbital will overlap in this manner, forming a sigma bond. One of the pz orbital will overlap in this manner, forming a sigma bond. Yes? And then one of the pz orbital will overlap in this manner, forming a sigma bond. This is sp3d2 pz orbital. Here again sp3d2 pz. Is it clear or not? This again will be sp3d2 pz. Here it will be sp3d2 and pz orbital. This will also be sp3d2 and pz. sp3d2 pz orbital. Is it clear? This is sulfur, fluorine, fluorine. This again will be fluorine, fluorine molecule, fluorine and fluorine. This is the octahedral geometry. Yes? So it adopts what geometry? Octahedral. Where the bone angle will be of 90 degrees. Am I clear? This is how sp3d2 hybridization takes place. So in sp3d2 hybridization, which d orbital participate? dxy, dyz. In which molecule have I discussed the sp3d2 hybridization? Sulfur hexafluoride. sp3d hybridization was discussed in PCl5. Now student, the left is sp3d3 hybridization. So we will discuss sp3d3 hybridization. Now sp3d3 hybridization. So how does the sp3d3 hybridization takes place? sp3d3 hybridization. Student, sp3d3 hybridization occurs when one half filled s, 3p and 3 d atomic orbital participate to I must say mix to form the 7 hybrid orbital, which will orient themselves in a manner so as to adopt pentagonal bipyramidal geometry with a bone angle of 90 degree and 72 degree. How? So it will include the mixing of 1s, 3p and 3d orbital. What are these 3d orbital? This will be dxy, yz and dz square. Am I clear? So this will be dxy, then dyz and dz square. Am I clear? These are the 7 hybrid orbital which will mix together, resulting in the formation of pentagonal bipyramidal geometry with a bone angle of 90 degree and 72 degree. So the geometry over here will be pentagonal bipyramidal. Pentagonal bipyramidal geometry with a bone angle of 90 degree and 72 degree. Is it clear? I'll try to explain by taking an example as we have done in every case. As for example, IF7, iodine heptafluoride. Fine. Student, what is an atomic number of iodine? It is 53. If you write down the electronic configuration up to argon, it will be same, that is up to 36. Then we have 4d10, 5s2, 5p5. So this will be argon 36, 4d10, 5s2 and 5p5. Is it clear? This is in the ground state. If you write down the configuration in excited state, it will be argon 36, 4d10, 5s1, 5px1, 5py1, 5pz1. Then 5d3. This will be in dxy, yz and dz. How? 5s will be having one electron. 5p x1, y1, z1 having one electron each. And 5d will be having 3 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. One here, and one here. This is 5s, 5px, 5py, 5pz, 5dxy, 5dyz and 5dz square. 1s, 3p and 3d will mix together to form sp3d3 type of a hybridization. Am I clear? Which will orient itself to adopt pentagonal bipyramidal geometry. It will adopt pentagonal bipyramidal geometry. This is the pentagonal bipyramidal geometry. One of the sp3d3 hybridization will be this, other one will be this, third one will be this, fourth one will be this, next one will be this, one will be this, and one will be this. I think I shall be very clear. These are hybrid orbital of this way. What is the geometry? Pentagonal bipyramidal. Pentagonal bipyramidal. Bone angle will be 90 degree and 72 degree. Now fluorine. Fluorine atomic number is 9. Configuration will be 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py2 and 2pz1. Here again this bond will be axial, this will be equatorial. Pz atomic orbitals, which is dumbbell shape, will orient itself in a manner so as to form a bond. How will it take place? Just see over here. This will be this way. This is a dumbbell shape. Am I clear? One of the hybrid orbital is this 7 hybrid orbital. This will be this way. Now the pz orbital will orient itself in a manner so as to overlap with the hybrid orbital. So one of the pz will overlap with this way, resulting in the formation of a bond. Another pz will overlap in this manner, resulting in the formation of a bond. Another pz orbital will overlap in this manner, resulting in the formation of a bond. One of the pz orbital will overlap in this manner to form a bond. Another pz orbital will overlap in this manner to form a bond. Then we have another pz orbital which will overlap in the manner and result in the formation of a bond. Am I clear? This is what bond? sp3d3pz. Here sp3d3pz. Here again sp3d3pz. This one sp3d3pz. This one again will be sp3d3pz. This again will be sp3d3pz. Is it getting clear? This is iodine molecule. This is fluorine molecule. This is fluorine. This is fluorine. A fluorine and a fluorine. And then a fluorine. This is axial bond. These are equatorial bond. Axial bonds are longer than the equatorial bond. Why? Due to repulsion at the axial position. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is iodine heptafluoride. Pentagonal bipyramidal geometry. So this is how it will be formed over here. You may see student over here. This is sp3d3pz and this was also sp3d3pz. Is it clear, student? So this is how this bond formation takes place. So sp3d3pz. It will acquire pentagonal bipyramidal geometry. You may see over here. Pentagonal bipyramidal geometry. With a bond angle of 90 degree and 72 degree. The question may be asked, why axial bonds are longer than the equatorial bond? Due to greater repulsions at the axial position than at the equatorial position. So students, these were the various types of hybridization. sp, sp2, sp3, sp3d3, sp3d, sp3d2 and sp3d3. We have discussed this in the lecture number 14 and the two parts of lecture number 15. I hope you must have understood this. Now student, in our next lecture, we will discuss some of the geometries in the molecule where the lone pair comes. When the lone pair comes, the distortion in the geometry will take place due to the lone pair bond pair repulsion. That will be discussed with you in valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. So we will discuss that in the next lecture, where we will be coming across certain distorted irregular geometries. These were the regular geometries, and try to explain how do these geometries can be stabilized. So I hope you must have understood these very, very important lectures of the syllabus of the chemical bonding. I expect you to make the notes of this. With that expectation, I am summing up the lecture of the day. We will meet again in the next lecture. Till then, thank you.